Hi, my name is Davian and I'm 25 this year. Currently I'm doing like freelance acting and at the same time I'm doing production on my side. My role in the film is this guy called Fong. Okay, basically he's someone who is quite, I wouldn't say rebellious lah, but maybe right at the start, right, he's very keen on what his dad does in the industry, like because his dad is in the wayang opera kind. So he wanted to really join in his dad. The role of him started out as someone who didn't get any trust from his dad to who he is today on the stage at the end of the show. So there's a contrast in his role itself lah. So from a young boy who is trying to be playful to someone who is mature enough to be able to perform on stage.
你马上给我下来！
爸，对不起。
这个箱子可是古董啊，在戏班。
我是 Nigel Lim 啊，中文名叫林阳仲啊，在片里头都是用英文名字啊。他的整个戏里头的含义，我觉得是很有意思的，特别是在讲到传承、讲到文化、讲到思想。 这个戏我觉得会比较有深度，至少它能够透露出一些东西，就是说两代之间的一种代沟，想法不一样，然后为什么去磨合？通过这戏呢，有时候你会发现啊，对，两代之间虽然有代沟，但彼此之间在某种情况底下其实是可以磨合的。我觉得这个戏能够在知信馆的地方演出是，放映是很好的，因为我们本地的一些。 因为去那边看的多数也是学生了哈，我就觉得应该让他们去看，然后外地的游客来看的时候呢，也至少发现我们本地的一些特有的文化色彩。
喵，喵你的头，你可以认真点嘛。
In a general note of a film itself, right, is something that people will want to watch because it's something different from what the usual teenager do. Okay, you don't really get to see the backstage of a wayang opera, but for a cultural kind of backstage kind of performance, you don't really see this kind of life whereby what things going on at the backstage and things going on the stage itself. So this kind of tradition is kind of like dying off in Singapore lah. That's what I feel because like not many teenagers are picking up this industry. Okay, not many are picking up the stunts, like because like you see the stunts that I did, right? Actually, it's not me lah, it's the stuntman because it's to pick up the skills of like playing with the sword and all, right? I think it takes years. So for now, I don't see any teenager going into this line. So for this film, right, one of the greatest value is that it actually inputs into to our society today that how people can actually relate to the tradition that is going to die off maybe I don't know how long, maybe 10, 20 years. Yeah, that's how I feel about film. So it's a very good concept whereby we can incorporate it into the society today. I felt very proud to be part of the film because like the day when we went to SDC, it was really like amazing experience lah. We get to meet all the other casts and all the other production people. And one thing is I heard of the SDC, right? Because it's a collaboration between TP and SDC, right? It's like because TP is strong in design, SDC wants to speak of Singapore story so that they have the collaboration. And being screened there is a showcase of the students' film, which I feel that is a very strong point whereby it will push students every year. I know every FYP student, they will definitely push to greater heights in order to get their film screened there. So I think it's a very good collaboration, or it's a very good introduction of SDC into the films and into TP itself. Yeah.
Then all the way until the end.
Hi, I'm Clio. I'm the director for Backstage, and currently I'm a Year 3 student in Temasek Polytechnic, majoring in digital film and television. It was my first time writing a short film script, so I had a lot of help from my lecturers, Siu Cheng and Andrew. They gave me a lot of advice on how I can improve the story in terms of pacing and replacing certain words with regards to bringing more emotion out of the character and how to add humor into the film. As for Yvonne, the course manager, she was really supportive and she came down on set to help us with art direction and stuff. and she also gave us a lot of advice on casting and location-wise. Like she advised us which location would be better to shoot certain scenes and stuff like that. So we are really thankful that the lecturers really gave us a lot of help. The message of our story is that parents must have confidence in their children, and children must respect tradition in order for both generations to progress. Some challenges faced during production were time constraints and weather conditions, because we had only a few days of production which we planned beforehand, and it was really tight and we had a lot of shots to film. The weather conditions also affected some of our shots, because we had the finale scene. We had to coordinate a lot of audience, like about 30 to 40 of them, and we had to rush to finish their shots. So we had limited shots in the end because it started to rain on that day. Suman, our Indian music composer, was very accommodating and patient with us, as it was his first time composing an Indian music for a Chinese opera set. And we had a lot of meetings with him, and he spent a lot of time trying to explore and figure out what is the best tune for a Chinese opera song, and it turned out really well. I feel really happy and honoured that our film is being screened at SDC, because it's the first time SDC and TP has collaborated, and our film will be shown to a wide range of audience. So we feel really happy that we have this opportunity to showcase our film. On behalf of my team, we would like to thank our lecturers, Yvonne, Siu Ching, Andrew, and Julian, for helping us with the story from pre-production to post-production, and also our parents for their never-ending support and their belief in us. And also we would like to thank the sponsors for helping us along the way.
Hi, I'm Choon and I'm the Chief Editor for Backstage, and I'm currently a Year 3 student in Temasek Poly, majoring in digital film and television. For the research for our film, I actually searched out on the net about on a lot of Chinese operas and short films about Chinese operas, the documentaries, especially documentaries on their colors, how they portray the story, and most importantly, it's just the colors, because wayang itself, Chinese opera itself, is a very colorful art, and we wanted to portray it in a cinematic way, especially for a short film like ours. For the audio design of our film, I actually took out a lot of time to search out on the internet also for this Chinese wayang opera's music, because this kind of music is very hard to get, especially online, and we can't really get them online anywhere. So we had to record it on set, some of the sets. So we actually went down to some of the Chinese opera's plays on some of the days, so that we can record down the music that they are playing. But it didn't really turn out well, so we used another approach, which is to find a composer, which is James Lai, and he's actually a good friend of our cast, Davian, the main cast, Fong. So it was actually by coincidence that we got to know him, and apparently he did really well in composing for us most of the instrumental musics, be it the background music, be it the main theme for our short film and everything. So we're really thankful for him. If not, we don't know where we can get this kind of Chinese opera music. So, and furthermore, we had to implement the Indian musics into the Chinese opera. So our Indian musician, Suman, he also took out a lot of time to actually help us to accommodate this Chinese opera thing into the Indian instruments together, so that they can be played off well together for our finale performance. So music plays a very big part in our film. The final product that I see for the short film is actually I'm actually quite proud of it, because the music actually turned out really well. I would like to thank Andrew, our lecturer in charge, and our family and friends for their never-ending support. and it's been a really tough 1 year, I guess, close to 1 year, and everything actually turned out really well.
Hi, my name is Larry. I'm the DP for Backstage, and I'm a third-year student in Temasek Polytechnic majoring in digital film and television. So I was inspired to do this film because I grew up in an environment where there are a lot of opera performances happening around me. So as I grew older and I realized that this art has been diminishing, so I thought of doing something about it, and I thought the best way to go about doing it might be portraying it in a short film. A lot of research had to be done as well. I had to look at real opera performances, to look at what kind of lighting they use. And because the location that we got is a permanent stage, and it's just a bare stage without proper lights. So we had to bring in our own equipment to rig up the entire stage, to light up the entire stage, and it was not a small stage. So a lot of time was put into setting up the stage in terms of the props and the equipment as well. So we even had to bring in metal poles just to rig lights onto the ceiling. And there are scenes where there are audiences, up to 30 audiences, and we had to plan very carefully in terms of lighting to make sure that the entire area could be lit up. So personally, I have never done all this as a personal project before, so it was quite a challenge to me. And above all, in terms of time, we had a lot of time constraints because we had to just shoot within 3 days. So a lot of times we were rushing through. I'm glad that we had a big team. We had a great team to support us in the production, our friends, not forgetting our sponsors as well. I'd like to thank Singapore Discovery Centre for giving us this opportunity, Canon for providing us with all the equipment and lenses, the camera equipment and lenses for all the wonderful images that could generate, to Cathay for providing us with all the rigs. Without all the rigs, we won't be able to do all this. To Shooting Gallery as well. They have provided us with all the lighting equipment. For this scale of production, without Shooting Gallery, we won't be able to make it with the lighting aspect. For Go Bell Leasing as well. Go Bell Leasing provided us with our transport. There were also troops, 2 opera troops that were supporting us throughout this production. One is Laosai Teochew Opera Troupe, and one is Sinsai Teochew Opera Troupe. So these 2 troops gave us a lot of advice on how we should go about helping our talents wear the costumes, providing us with costumes, with information about the culture, the tradition. So by just talking to them, we learned a lot, and we went out to their shows to look at how the proper shows are done. So from there, that was how we did our research, and we tried to mimic a lot of things from them as well, because we couldn't get the actual things like the author for the deity, the opera deity. We tried to get one, but unfortunately, we couldn't get one, so we had to build one ourselves. So we managed to talk to the troupe members, and then we got a rough idea of how the author looks like, what is the color that we should use, and then we managed to build one ourselves. And also some areas of the stage where needed some extra props, so we had to build right from the scratch from wood. So for this, I'd like to thank Shooting Gallery as well for allowing us to use their workshop and having the people there to teach us how to go about building the props that we need. I'm really honoured to have this film screened in Singapore Discovery Centre, especially they have a 4K resolution cinema, and also because at Singapore Discovery Centre they have a wide range of audience, from children to school students to tourists to adults. So with that, I hope that as many audience as possible could watch our film, and also to promote this dying tradition of Chinese opera.